folks, I'm Ranger Kip, and I'm here to welcome you to Indiana Dunes National Park. As you know, the park stretches from Gary, Indiana, all the way to Michigan City, Indiana, about 22 miles, and we have a little over 15,000 acres. Now today, we're here at the Great Marsh. I'm going to be giving you a tour of this 1.2 mile trail. As you can see, we're going to start our hike here and take the trail through the wetlands. Up in this area here, there's a nice overlook observation deck. So in the early 1900s, people thought of places like the Great Marsh as swamps. There were places that needed to be drained because of the mosquitoes and just the muck that was around. They didn't realize how important it is. So follow me, and we're going to talk about how important this area is. So you've heard the term drain the swamp. Well, literally, that's what happened here in the 1900s. People came in, they put tiles in to drain away the water. They could get rid of all the muck and the mosquitoes so they could build their homes. In fact, if you look around on our trail here, this used to be an old roadway. So this area here has had lots of disturbance. In fact, our resource management team had to come in. They spent many years rehabbing this area to make it what it is today. So once the tiles were put in and the water was redirected and the quote-unquote swamp was drained, homes were put in. Right over here you can see where we have remnants of an old home site. We've got invasive plants here. Somebody had their home here at one point. In fact, there are hotels and restaurants in the area as well. All right, so we're down the trail just a little bit further, and I see a big patch of skunk cabbage here. The really unique thing about skunk cabbage is the fact that it's one of the first plants to come up in the spring, early spring, and as it's reproducing, it actually produces its own heat. So that way it kind of wards off any frost or anything like that that might kill other plants. Right next to that is mayapple. And underneath this little umbrella, come May, it's going to be a little flower and a fruit that grows. And you can actually eat mayapple. Got to make sure it's ripe or else it might give you a little stomach ache. Over here we have golden ragwort. And this is another beautiful plant that's going to flower later on in the spring. On the trail you might see these plants here. They're beautiful. They're called marsh marigolds. Now marsh marigolds are poisonous, so you don't want to pick them and eat them. You can make dandelion soup or tea, but you can't make anything out of these things. So you can see here, you see the little stump right there, that's actually a beaver chew. So beaver have come in and started chewing down the trees to make their lodges and things like that. That's just one of the animals that you can find here in the marsh. So you're probably wondering why I have this prop here. It's called a sponge. You guys have this in your house, probably in your kitchen. Well, in the 1900s, people didn't really understand how important wetlands were. One of the things that the wetlands did was it absorbed moisture. If you had a hard rain, there wouldn't be flooding because the wetland acted as a sponge. Also, I have coffee filters with me. When we drink water, water is very important to us. And guess what? The marsh actually would do like a coffee filter, and it would strain and make sure that the water was clean. So that's important as well. I've got a baby in a baby crib. And guess what? The marsh is a place where lots of different animals have their babies. And the babies are here protected with the marsh and grow into adults. In fact, 4 out of every 5 bird species that are in the park use the marsh to breed, to find food, and just have protection. People come from all around to do birding. The Great Marsh is one of those great places to do birding. In fact, it's one of the places where waterfowl on their migration come to stop to get food, breed, and have protection. Oh, here we go. We've got a hawk feather right here. That reminds me of the birds that I've seen out here. I've seen bald eagles, osprey, even white pelicans out here. Some of the more common birds are blue-winged teal and coots. So we're here at the viewing platform at the Great Marsh. And if you look over my shoulder, you'll probably see a sandhill crane. That's one of the birds that people come out to see. you have a pair of binoculars like this and a good camera, you'll have a great time out here. This is also fully accessible. We've got a parking lot just west of here and a ramp that leads to the lookout. So we're come to the end of the trail here, and just like to thank you guys for coming on a hike with me today. There's lots of trails out here, over 50 miles of trails, so please come out and enjoy the national park.